Hey everybody, Jay Weidner. I know it's been a long time since I've had a reality checkup. I've been shooting a seven-part series, docu-series for television, doing a lot of traveling, and I'm back. Let's just say I'm back. So tonight I have a returning guest. This is the third time I think I've had him on. Robert Shiep, Dr. Robert Shiep. And just because it's been a while since you've been on, just kind of remind us, what is your stick here? You got something
Okay.
that you're doing that's kind of special, and I want everybody to, find out the background.
Okay, super. Hi, Jay. Thank you for the invite back. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
Uh, Regular guy, born and raised Los Angeles. Invented the first mail order pharmacy in 1986 in the United States. Did that for 25 years. I retired in 2012. And in 2017, I live in Marina Del Rey at 200 feet elevation. So I'm overlooking the city. And for whatever reason, summer of 2017, the Navy Blackhawks and the Coast Guard literally invaded the marina, hovered 200 feet over the ground for 4 hours. They did that every day for 2 weeks. So finally, I took my camera out. I recorded the helicopters, and you can see these small objects flying past our helicopters. And so obviously, they knew about it. They could see them, and if they didn't make it so blatantly obvious, I would have never recorded them. But when you have Coast Guard over your roof at 200 feet for 4 hours for 14 days, you become curious. And basically, now that has never stopped. So, long story short, the military is 100% aware something's going on, something's flying in our airspace, and through trial and error, 8 years, 14,000 hours of research, the concept is these small objects. For the first year, Jay, I was sure they were had to be bugs uh, or insects like a dragonfly. It had to be because I did not know of a concept of a UFO, a 1 inch UFO flying around. So it had to be a bug. But after 1 year, I got better cameras. I picked up a Panasonic X1000 4K 60 frames on a tripod. I attached a car radar detector to it, turned it into a little NASA project. And yeah, sure enough, when the helicopters come in, these things fly up to the helicopters. They do trigger the X and K band on the radar detector. They leave a clicking sound on the audio, and they mess with your autofocus sometimes. And they're very predictable. They're baitable and they're predictable. So this is to sum it up in 8 years. This is what's going on.
So how come I can't see them with the naked eye?
Nobody can see them with the naked eye. It's essentially impossible. Maybe if one came straight at you for a half a second, you'd catch a glimpse, but the naked eye or binoculars cannot see it. But digital cameras can see them. 1080
Well, you
film,
slow it down because you're shooting at 60 frames.
yeah, 60 frames. Although a lot of people on their cell phones, the format is you hold your phone sideways, landscape, zoom in 20% like to a helicopter. I like helicopters. For 30 seconds, look for a dot. That dot will be the bullet. That will be the UAP flying by.
All right, so how come they don't break this? If they're going that fast, how come they don't break the sound barrier?
Well, they are technically leaving a little click. Now, we don't know if that click is actually an analog sound or if it's some type of RF signature. I tend to believe it's a radio frequency signature because if the helicopter is a mile or two away, you can still hear their click instantaneously. And in the speed of sound, it should take 4 or 5 seconds to get to you. So, yeah,
Is it possible that they're not solid objects?
I think it is possible because uh, I do have one particular video. I was recording a very large package that was delivered to my neighbor. I just zoomed in on it just for fun to see just how good my camera is. And sure enough, one of these little objects flew through the box. And by the way, when they fly through objects, in my opinion, because they are running on extreme high voltage, they give off gamma rays. The gamma rays act as the same principle as a hospital X-ray, and you could see the white ghost image of the UAP itself.
Well, ball lightning can go through walls without making a hole. And it's not a solid object, it's just a plasma ball. Is it possible that these are little balls of plasma?
You know, it's a small world, Jay. I actually am friends with the physicist who wrote a book about ball plasma, Dr. Barry Dale. He lives right here in Westchester. I showed it to him, and he was baffled by it. He's baffled. I'm open-minded, but no, because they're predictable. You can bait them. You can bait
Well,
them.
there was a report that came out in February 24 by a group of scientists, and there was a follow-up report in October 24, which they posit that there are living plasma entities in our atmosphere, and they have sentience, and they have predatory hunter-like activities, and but I think actually. Last week I did a show called Unrecognized Fascist Observatories, in which we posited that actually UFOs are some kind of surveillance state that we don't understand, possibly run by an AI. And I mentioned you in that show. I think that's why we got reconnected again. And what do you think about that?
Well, they are flying up to literally everything in our airspace. So it's kind of obvious, at the very least, they're extremely curious what our aircraft are, and you could assume they're measuring the mass, the fuel, the speed, the sound, the radio frequencies.
Yeah.
I mean, they're tagging Earth drones, birds, balloons, parasails through trial and error. They're extremely baitable, and frankly, they don't really care if you can predict where they'll be, because I guess for now their attitude is you can't catch us.
No.
You can't catch us. So what if you know where we are? Yeah, and I did see that plasma. I read about it. Yeah, and I do, by the way, because they're running on electricity, they do give off these little images of wings. They mimic insect wings.
Yes, they do.
Yeah, and so that's why for the first year I said, "Oh, this is a dragonfly," but it's not. They're plasma jets. The most logical answer in science. It's high voltage electricity, plasma jets. And I was saying this 7 years ago, and I'm happy that last year the scientific report is now recognizing plasma.
Yeah, I am too. I was really surprised by it, and I thought it was actually a really big breakthrough because what they were essentially saying was this was life, non-biological life. And Robert Temple just wrote a book, A New View of Heaven, I think it's called, which is all about the plasma world. It's really good, and he thinks that that UFOs are coming here from the plasma cloud that surrounds the Earth, and that they're interested in what we're doing, and he's probably less severe than I am, calling it a surveillance state. He thinks that they're just curious, which it could be. I mean, I'm not going to deny that what you're witnessing could just be some kind of intelligence that's curious about flying objects. Although I'm wondering now if it's more than flying objects. In other words, are they looking at everything?
I
I mean, you know what I mean? What are they doing when there's nothing flying around? Right? I mean, you live in an area where there's a lot of air traffic. So you're in a unique position to see this. But I have like maybe 10 planes a day fly over my ranch here. So I have hardly any traffic at all. So what are they doing, when they're not watching the traffic?
it's a great question. My best guess is they're sprinters, by the way. They don't fly in the air for hours or 30 minutes. They're sprinters. Often you can see them go up and come down, up and come down.
Yeah.
So sprinters as in 3-4 seconds. But then when they're on the ground, they're only on the ground for like a second or two, and then they're off again. Uh, I That's outside my understanding of what's going on there.
And you know that ball lightning has been seen like hanging around power lines and things like that. So and that's what you say these guys do, right?
They do. Well, you can bait them. You could just record high voltage lines and they will fly by. Yeah.
Really? That's
Yeah.
incredibly
Yeah.
fun. And now you got other people doing it all around the planet, and they're seeing it. So there could literally be trillions of these little things, whatever they are.
My lowest estimate is that there's one dragon per square mile on Earth, and Google says there's 200 million square miles. So my very low number is 200 million. However, there's just a lot of people now sending me videos every day, and I really think that's a very low estimate, 200 million, extremely low. Yeah.
So, if they were, here's the thing. Is it possible that they've been here all the time? In
It's
other words, let's posit that there was once a high-tech culture that got disappeared by a catastrophe, like I wrote in my two books. So 12,000 years ago, there was a catastrophe, and um, would it be possible that they just let the AI run in, and all these things have just been running the whole time, and they're still running, and they're kind of indestructible because they're not made out of solid objects, and um, and it was once a surveillance system of some kind, and now it's just running on its own. Is that possible?
Yeah, that's possible. Absolutely, that's possible. I think they're autonomous vehicles. I think they could even self-replicate because all the minerals you need are in the ocean and you have access to unlimited electricity. That's the recipe to make anything you want.
Yeah.
Uh, Absolutely. So, yeah, people ask, Robert, are they from another planet? Are they from the inner Earth? Or are they from our future? Uh, Hard to answer.
Yeah.
I'm going with, I'm getting a human connection here because you can kind of sometimes talk to them. So I'm going with the future. I think they're from our future, but it's really hard until we get one on the table. Uh, it's really hard.
You'll
It's
never
really,
get that one.
yeah, it's asking a lot.
No.
I get it.
No,
It's
I bet you if you even got remotely close to catching one, it would just disappear.
Yeah, I could tell you this, 2018, the Blackhawks, as they do now, were coming in then, and one-time video, I just have a one-time video. It appears that it did shoot one of these UAPs. I call them a dragon because I thought they were dragonflies, and and you could see it tumble out of the sky.
Really?
Yeah, it's nothing like any other video.
Do you know what kind of weapon it was that they shot it with?
Of course not, but it had to be an EMP, some type of
Yeah.
a frequency. It had to
Yeah.
be. My little concern is I was standing in the line of sight of the shot, so I don't know. I think I'm okay, but uh,
Hmm.
it tumbled. I did slow that down, and I do something called a frame by frame, copy and paste of each
Yeah, I
frame by
love it.
frame, and uh, and you could see it was very disoriented, like it was disintegrating. But amazingly, I do keep a camera, a second camera on my roof, which is 40 feet above the first camera, and the roof camera recorded a second UAP dragging coming in, apparently to rescue, and they both took off. So it didn't crash in the wetlands. I was expecting 50, 60 Army trucks to show up, and that never happened. However, I do have a very clear video of it getting hit in the sky, getting T-boned by an energy weapon. And that was the only time. Since then, we haven't been that lucky. We haven't been.
Wow. That reminds me of when Wilhelm Reich invented his orgone machine. He took it out, I think it was in Tucson. He took it out and he saw what he thought was a UFO, and he aimed the orgone machine at it and it knocked it out of the sky. It actually fell down to the ground and everything. And it's like, huh. So they can be shot at, and the U.S. military knows it can be shot at.
You know, Jay, I don't know to this day. I've posted that video many times. I I don't know for sure if it sounds naive if the army actually watched that video and if they know how close they came to shooting it out of the sky. I would assume maybe they're watching my channel.
Oh, they
Uh,
are.
well, they only, but I've only recorded that once, and I've recorded 30,000 videos. So I don't know. We're not going to get lucky again. Did they figure out? Did they adapt to our energy weapon? Did they figure out the frequency and say, "Hey, that's the last time you're going to sucker punch us"? It's possible.
This is not the first time I've heard also of uh, object falling to the earth and then another object comes and helps it,
Wow.
right? Or as it's falling, another object comes and helps it. This is quite a common story, actually. I
Wow.
think we told it on this channel. Two guys were flying their Cessna over the mesas in, I think, northern Arizona, and they looked down at one of the mesas and they saw something kind of weird on the mesa. It was like alive, but it was silvery looking. And they landed their plane on the mesa and they went over to look at it, and it was some kind of strange, weird object that was wounded. And it let out a stink that was worse than like 1,000 farts. And then another object that looked very similar to it came and landed next to it and sort of looked like it was giving it comfort. I kid you not. And then slowly it helped it come back alive, and then they took off together. And he was the two guys that saw it, they were convinced that they were living some kind of living creature, but the plasma wasn't known back then, and so they didn't know really what to make of the whole thing, except that they both were completely flipped out by the experience. So there is this thing going on. I mean, and if you look at the Maury Island UFO incident, two fishermen saw this UFO coming over the Puget Sound at them, and it was letting some kind of stuff out of it, metal and some of the metal hit the deck of the boat, and they said it looked like it was live, right? This UFO, and so they reported to I don't know, local police or something. They'd seen this UFO, and they had this big, huge glob of weird, stinky metal on their deck, and the U.S. Air Force sent two guys out there to investigate it. They took the metal blob, and then their plane crashed on their way out of Seattle, and they died. And so you have to wonder what's really going on here, because again, over and over, we get these reports of as if UFOs are alive and sentient, and which is crazy, but it does offer an explanation for what we're seeing and what you're seeing, especially.
Correct. Correct. Well, the hope is I have 6,000 videos. People around the world have another 5,000. Eventually, NASA and the universities take all these videos, they put it in a AI supercomputer, and they extract more information from it, and we'll get more answers.
It's a really good idea. We should do
Uh,
that.
I
We should
hope
stick
that's
these videos into Grok and get an analysis of it. It's a really good idea because, I mean, they will be able to say that that's not a bug because they'll have exact tracking of how bugs fly, which they zigzag, by the way. They don't fly in your straight lines like your dragons do. But yeah, I think I might do that, by the way. I might just
yeah.
put some in and get an analysis.
I actually I did do that as an experiment, and AI said basically this is not a bug, Robert.
They
This
did
is
say that.
it did say that. Yeah, it's but my hands are full, Jay. It's
Oh, I
nonstop.
know.
Like it's
And you are being watched. I don't care what you say. I know you are. Um, they've got you. They're keeping track on you. They're trying to figure out what to do with you, probably.
what was
You've
there
overwhelmed the situation, which is the right thing to do, is to completely overwhelm it. And so they can't do anything about it. You should probably put up a video with that AI saying they're not bugs. That would really help your case.
I think I did. You know, you're right. I did do a screenshot, but I should revisit that
Yeah,
and
you should.
Yeah.
Because I think what you're doing is really important. And I wonder if I had a little tiny airport that's like an hour away from me. I think I should take my camera down there and see if even a little airport in a little
Yes.
town,
There
they
you
have
go.
like 4 planes a day taking off, but you know, is it possible? Yeah, I guess it is.
Jay, what I do right here on my iPad, uh, I watch a free app called Plane Finder,
Right.
planefinder.net, and you could see aircraft coming your way ahead of time. So that's what I do. I sit here on my computer. When I see a helicopter coming my way, I go on my balcony, I record the helicopter, I get new video. It's
Wow.
yeah,
And
it's
every day you see them.
every day. Yeah, every day. It's and I keep doing it because I'm doing this for humanity, Jay. I believe this is going to help humanity. It's going to give us a slingshot effect, the moonshot. It's going to help us. These things are running on electricity. If we could figure out 1% of their technology, that's going to be huge, beneficial for humanity. We need that 1%, and if not, of course, 5 or 10%. But I'll start with 1% here. So yeah, you could. So my point is, go to planefinder.net. If you happen to see an airliner, an airplane coming your way, just go outside, hold the phone sideways, record for 30 seconds, zoom in 20%, look for a dot. Uh, Very repeatable. I have, like I said, 6,000 personal videos.
Yeah, that's pretty amazing. Hmm.
And everyone gets tagged. There are no exceptions. You might say, are there some aircrafts that don't get tagged? Everyone. So in Marina Del Rey, we've had every helicopter the Pentagon literally has. What does that mean? The Ospreys, the Blackhawks, the Apaches, the Lakotas, the Coast Guard, the police, the Edison chopper, uh, it, nonstop. Even of course, when the president flies over my roof, the president gets tagged all the time. Everyone gets tagged. It's
Wow.
yeah.
This is like the greatest puzzle ever.
It is. I mean, it probably your only warning is once you record one, it's very addicting, and you're going to want to record another. That's probably the only caveat right there. Yeah.
And you've never been contacted by the military, right?
Well, I was proactive, Jay. I actually in 2018, by some impossible coincidence, I went to one event and I ended up sitting next. It's crazy. It sounds. I ended up sitting next to this guy in the CIA. So literally at that point, I'm with my wife and I'm with this guy, and I had to make the biggest decision in my life. Who am I going to spend the next 4 hours with? And I told my wife, I'm sorry. I'll never get this chance again.
Yep.
And so I told him everything. And he was listening. And he was listening. So I told him everything. And then since then, I've sat down with the March Air Force Base. I've done 2 visits there, Riverside, California. It's
Yep.
been on the Discovery Channel. They did a thing on this. SETI's been to the house. Sheldon Reynolds of Earth, Wind, and Fire. He's part of SETI. He came to my house. Uh,
Wow.
the Vatican, they had some sisters come here. I showed them what was going on. They put me in touch with the photographer at the Vatican. I gave him, I've told a lot of people. So in other words, I'm not trying to keep it a secret.
Yeah.
I, I guess maybe they're watching the channel. It's just that one lucky shot. I wonder if because the thing is, they could go back and they could go, on that day we're using this model of EMP. This is the frequency we were using. Maybe we should use it again. It's just that I've never gotten that
Or
lucky.
more likely, they saw your video and said, don't do that in front of Marina Del Rey ever again, right? Because
That is
they didn't
that
want that's actually a very important video. I mean, because you're proving that they can be stopped. You're proving that they are helping each other, which is even more incredible. And That the military knows about them.
Yeah, and then you might say, unfortunately, in the last year, because I've been doing a lot of these podcasts, the military is very reluctant now to fly in because they know I will record them
Yeah.
and I will post it and I will give you the video. And that's is what a couple of days ago they tried to sneak in. They sent in a Blackhawk and an Apache, and they got tagged. A tag is when the UAP flies up to their. They got tagged 3, 4, 5 times, and to knock it off, just the cherry on the cake, they triggered the X-band radar. So I have the Black Hawk, the UAP Dragon, and the X-band radar going off all at once.
Wow.
It's,
So
it's
they've curtailed a lot of the flights that are going by you since you started this.
a lot. The only one left for the most part is the LAPD. They're still giving it a college try. They come in 6 times a day. They fly up to the jetty rocks. They fly up to the ocean. They look around, and then they leave. And I really think they're getting paid by Homeland Security. They're like, Homeland Security is saying, look, just go there. We'll give you a bunch of money. Look around. We don't know what to do at this point. There's been,
I
well,
think you're right.
there's been 46,000 sorties since the summer of 2017. 46,000. If each sortie is $1,000, of course it's much more, but if it was 1,000, that's $46 million.
Yeah.
There's been 3 major research vessels parked right here in Marina del Rey at the Jetty Rocks. So the Jetty Rocks is ground zero. The 3 research vessels are the Decisive, the Ocean Investigator, and the USS Gabriella Gifford. They were all parked here. The first 2 were parked here for 9 months. They analyzed everything. They even put a submarine in the water, encircled the Jetty Rocks, and then they left permanently 2 weeks later. But
Do you think that's where they're coming from? That area?
well, they're going in and out of the water at the Jetty Rocks. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. It's very obvious on all the video and of course on the submarine video too. And they know it. And
Well, isn't that mysterious base right there
yeah,
underwater?
33 miles north of the Malibu base. Yeah, a few miles off the coast of Malibu.
Yep.
I've been reporting that for 5 years, and a year ago, it looks like Google decided to delete the image. So I've done screenshots, but if you go there, it's almost impossible to find now. But it's obviously still there, and that's 5 miles south of Point Magoo
Yep.
Navy Base.
Yep.
If you try to go there and dive, the Navy, even though that's not Navy water, the Navy will come and tell you, get out of here. They've done that. They've
I
done
used
that.
to go surfing up there.
Okay, well, try diving down to that base. I think it's 70 feet or something. Uh, they're not gonna. They'll chase you off.
You
Uh,
think it's ours or you think it's somebody else's?
it's massive. It's massive. It's like
Massive.
over. It's massive. It's so obvious too on Google Map. It's an oval hangar
Yeah.
with a flat roof. And it literally looks like somebody poured sand over the roof because it's so out of place. It doesn't match the rest of
Oh,
the
you are right. John Lear told me once that he said this is before we found out about that base on Google. This is like maybe 20 years ago. He told me that there's a tunnel under Malibu that goes all the way to Nevada and that submarines go out to Nevada to get repaired. And I started laughing. I thought it was the funniest thing I've ever heard. And he said, oh, you think I'm joking? I go, well, I think it's pretty silly. And he said, oh, yeah, well, then if you're ever in, and he named the town in Nevada, he said, go to this one place and look, and you'll see it says U.S. Navy Submarine Research Facility. And it's a huge building out in the middle of the desert. He said, that's the building I'm talking about. And I followed up on it. And I went to the building, and there it was. Big, huge facility owned by the Navy. And like, okay, why not? So
right,
I think
right.
that's our base, is what I'm saying.
Yeah, yeah. It's well, it would explain why you can't go there. They'll just chase you off immediately. Yeah, to say the least. And again, I mean, how obvious is it? I mean, to for Google to delete the image, I mean, it's such a confession.
It is.
It's clear. It's clear. Please don't look at it. Don't talk about this place. Whatever, whatever. Top secret. UFOs top secret. Whatever. I'll just. I don't. I'm kind of tired of hearing that terminology. Top secret. There's very few things are top secret.
Yeah, I
UFOs.
agree.
They're not. UFOs are not top secret.
No.
No.
In fact, they can't keep anything a secret, but there is, some problems. But, I know you're right about Google Earth because I live at 8,000 feet and right near the Great Sand Dunes in Colorado. And they had the 2016 Google Earth images up until about 4 months ago when they now put up modern images of the landscape, right? And in the old pictures, a very mysterious, completely round circle is in the middle of the desert, and it's like 500 feet in diameter, right? And I was talking to an archaeologist who lives in this area. I said, "Have you ever seen that big, huge, perfect circle in the desert?" He said, "Oh, yeah, yeah. We went out there and looked at it and examined it. We don't know what it is." Right. Well, the new images came out, I think like 3 months ago. It was gone. And now I can't find it. And I was like, why did they remove it?
Wow.
Yeah,
Well,
so they are removing stuff. And unfortunately, the stuff they remove is the super important stuff. Also, if you're on Google Earth and you find a place that's all blurred out, like
right.
that's a very important place,
That's
whatever
a
it is.
right. That's a tell. That's
Yeah,
where you
that's a
go
tell.
back
Yeah.
and you look at it again later. Right.
Oh,
Right.
I know I wanted to ask you. Did you hear it just came out like that last 2 days that I don't know, is it the Navy? Yeah, the Navy has a laser that can make UFO UAPs.
You mean like a 3D image?
Yeah, they said that they say they're doing it to make decoys. Um, but they look awful lot like what you're dealing with. That's all I know. So,
Well, Jay, I would, a lot of people say, Robert, maybe this is part of DARPA, top secret research. And
yeah,
I would, I would say, there's one tiny problem. Why are they flying up to the president's helicopter?
exactly.
Who would do that? Who has that authority? Who, who has that authority to fly up to the president's? What do I say?
Do you know
So
this guy on the internet, Ashton Forbes?
yes, I do watch his channel.
You should send him your videos or a link or something
I
because he's got a network of pretty high quality friends, and I think he'd be very interested in what you're doing because it's very close to the MH370 thing. I mean, what are those things that surrounded the airplane? Are they the same thing that you're seeing, just bigger?
well,
Scaled up?
well, people, my viewers, do send me videos, and I have a couple now with three of these UAPs around helicopter or airplane.
Yeah.
Really spooky coincidence.
Yeah, as if maybe that plane was tagged the whole time, right?
Yeah,
And then they saw it was in trouble, and so they sent in their scaled up, whatever these things are, to
right.
go take care of it, and the electromagnetics to create a wormhole. I mean, that's what's going on here. Let's just be clear about it. And
Yeah.
these things, if they're flying 2,000 miles an hour and they're not breaking the sound barrier, then that is some serious technology.
Oh, to say, you offhand, if some of your viewers right now, if you're in front of your computer, because you can talk about wormholes. I could tell you where I found the best wormhole in 14,000 hours of research. Simply go to the title Blue Angels Ride Looking Forward. Blue Angels Ride
We
Looking.
showed it on our show last
Oh, you
time
did.
we were on.
Yeah.
That is mind blowing. That video is absolutely mind blowing. I mean,
We,
you didn't film it. That was the U.S. Air Force filmed it.
yeah, the Blue Angels filmed
Oh,
it.
Navy, I mean.
Yeah, the Navy. Yeah, yeah. Timeline 2313, 23 minutes, 13 seconds. Watch it frame by frame. You won't believe your eyes. Uh, I could tell you I gave it to a producer. The producer picked up the phone literally because he was connected. He called the Navy and said, "What is this right here?" And the Navy was not happy, not happy. And basically they begged him, "Do not put that on TV, please." And he said, "Fine, for now, I won't put this on TV, but you should go watch the video before it mysteriously something happens to it."
Yep.
It's, like I said, 14,000 hours. I've never seen anything close. It's it's just whatever. It's a one-time lucky video.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it is.
really spectacular.
What if there's any way to go back in the archival footage and see if we can see these things like from the 60s and the 70s? They're around then.
Well, you just got to look at old video, and yeah, I do. I've got somebody found Twilight Zone, 1959. They found a dragon when they went out to Death Valley. They filmed there in person, and they found a dragon at the end of the scene. And yeah, I copied it, I interpolated it. They're around. Of course, they're tricky, but once you train your eye to see them, it becomes easy. It becomes
Yeah,
very easy.
yeah,
It's no longer hard. They're no longer invisible. And that's what it's about. The word is getting out, the awareness. So when you do see these things, you go, "Oh, okay, that's a dragon. That's not normally you wouldn't even comment on it, but that's not a bird or a bug. That's a UAP reconning, flying around reconning."
it's got to be what it is. There can't be
And
any doubt about it.
it's
It's the weirdest thing ever.
they're just predictable.
If you got it from 1959, then they've been here the whole time.
Yeah,
I
they've been here
mean,
a long time.
and
Yeah.
did the Foo Fighters, isn't that what they did in Germany? They just kind of went up and checked out the airplanes and then left. They really didn't mess with them or anything.
I think well, I think the food fighters were orbs,
Yeah.
but to give you an example, last month somebody released a tape. It was on the Nation News, something like that. And what was going on? It was the Homeland Security was flying around Southern California in broad daylight, and one of these small dragons came right at them, and they caught it, and they called the control tower at LAX. They said, "Hey, something just flew in front of us. We're going after it." And they did a reenactment. And it's a dragon. It's a small UAP dragon. And 1 minute after the pursuit, the Homeland Security pilot called LAX and said, "We're going to terminate the pursuit because the object is 60 miles from here." 60
Wow.
miles in 1 minute.
1 minute. And that second report that came out in October by the group of scientists, they warned that aircraft could be in danger of hitting these things that are in the air. And you got to wonder, there's a whole rash of airplane crashes right after the report came out. It's like, what? You know?
Well, actually, yeah, I just learned the other day, F-18 in Arizona had an incident last year. Uh, Something hit their windshield. They said a drone hit our windshield, cracked it, an F-18. And the pilot, he gave away, he showed us cards. The pilot said it looked like an orange drone. And when I heard orange, I knew 100% it's a dragon, because they're hard to find, but I have 5 or 6 videos of orange dragons. They look like an orange cotton ball. So by the pilot confessing that, he just confessed he got hit by a dragon in the windshield. Now, what I want to see, Jay, is what that windshield looks like. Is it a big
Yeah.
crater? Is it a tiny crater? Is it a crack? Is it a crack that was fused from the inside? Because that dragon, with its high temperatures, it could have fused the glass. I need to know what that looks like. We can extract a lot of information, but you can look that up. It was just released last week. The pilot clearly said, "I got hit by an orange drone." Yeah. And
Whoa.
then there was a 2007, 2 Air Force jets in London. a ham operator guy was listening to them, listening. And these two pilots are, hey, I see this object. It's flying right in front of, they're at 17,000 feet. I'm chasing it now. Do you see it? He goes, wait a minute, I do see it. It flew by me. It looked like a bird. No, it looked like a rock. It was a dark rock. He's describing a dragon, describing, because the majority of the time they're dark. A few times they are orange. But the thing is, that was documented. That's, they know. The military knows. I'm, a, I'm amazed just how quiet all the pilots are. The only thing that came close, I did sit down with a big UFO celebrity guy. He went to talk to the LAPD, to the police pilots. And they told him off the record, these things are annoying. And they left it at that. They are annoying. And they didn't want to say more, but you don't have to say more. I'll take any kind of confession. Now we just need some pilots from the Blackhawks and the Apaches. But they're not saying anything. I don't know
It's
why.
either theirs or they don't understand it and they're afraid to say that because they don't want to look like they're not in control, which I
Right.
think that's probably it.
Yeah.
Especially if they're in the 1959. If they're even going back that far, that's not us. I mean, it could be a uh, some kind of secret group that wants to watch everybody on Earth. That's what it looks like, frankly.
I think they're watching everything, Jay.
Yeah,
They're reconning the planet.
everything.
Now I can tell you, by the way, when you go back and you look at that Blue Angel wormhole, before the mothership flew out, uh, about 10 dragons flew out first, 1/10 of a
Yeah.
second first. So my theory is it's reconning the atmosphere. Is this place safe? Yes or no? Should I tell the ship to come in? And they did all that in a 10th of a second. And the ship came in, flew up to the windshield, took off.
Yeah.
It's crazy, great, see, whatever it is. Like I said, it will never happen again.
Well,
Yeah,
I'm going to make a prediction that we're going to know what this is going on within 5 years here.
yeah. I feel very comfortable with that
Yeah.
prediction.
With new
Disclosures,
camera equipment coming out and AI and it's going to be it's going to be a problem that it's not going to be that hard to solve. The answer is going to probably surprise the hell out of us, however.
well, what you just brought up, new cameras and AI, you're describing the technology in autonomous vehicles that drive themselves.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
you you could put money on it that these things are seeing dragons. It's being reported back to headquarters. The engineers are going nuts. They're like, what are these objects? What are these? Because they designed the car to ignore birds and bugs.
That's right.
So they're like, what are these things flying up to our cars? Because there's a lot of electronics
That could
on
get
them.
really dangerous now that I think about it.
It's a learning curve. Yeah.
I was in one of those cars not that long ago and um one of the sensors got clogged by snow. It just took the car apart. Couldn't even function. So they're only as good as their cameras. That's it.
Essentially, yeah. Essentially, yeah.
If there's mysterious objects flying around that they don't understand, the car could make a decision that could be very deadly.
Absolutely, and they are seeing these objects, and
I would
I'm
think they
just waiting
were.
for the day for some engineer to tell the story. It's going to take a few more years, but I'm sure someone will come forward and say, you know, we've been seeing this for years, and it's driving us crazy, and we have the best software people on it, and we can't figure it out, but we think these are dragons, and it's exciting.
It is exciting. I'm really glad you're doing this kind of work because it was really needed and you're the perfect man in the perfect spot. Yeah, you got enough money to buy the equipment and you got the view of it and you got the time and you spent your time really well and brought a lot of really interesting knowledge to everybody out here. Now we just got to figure out, where to go next. We got
Well,
the evidence, that's for sure.
Well, I tell everyone, keep recording, build your library, build your dragon library. After you get 100 videos, get 500 videos. Eventually, Jay, just logically, the Pentagon is going to have to just say, look, okay, this is real. We're going to stop playing around. Everybody, please send us your dragon video. We are going to put this in a supercomputer AI. We're going to figure it out, but we need your help. That's all. That's all they got to say. And they will be flooded. They will be flooded with thousands of videos. They don't even have to go out and hire anyone. The public will send them thousands of videos, and that will get the job done. It's just,
But I mean, Pentagon has cameras all over every base that they have. The Pentagon, what, 700 cameras are pointed at the Pentagon at all times. They probably got thousands of hours of it already. They're running it through AI. The AI is finding it. They can't explain it. Uh, and
exactly.
this would really kind of explain, they really don't want to probably want to talk about it because they look weak.
Yeah, I know, but it's not going away.
How about like in other countries? People in other countries seeing these?
Oh yeah, of course. I have this lady in Belfast. She sends me too much video. I'm like, oh my, it's like she just sent me an hour ago. Phenomenal. So, Belfast, the UK, Poland. It's it's
Everywhere.
it's everywhere. It's everywhere, and it's like always exactly the same image, same shape, same speed, same
Yep.
color, same predictability. You can predict them. As a matter of fact, wherever the Blue Angels will be this weekend, they're flying somewhere this weekend. They will be on the Blue Angels videos. Somebody will be there. They'll record it. They'll put it on YouTube. You watch YouTube, you'll see them fly by.
Wow. That's amazing.
All the time, all the time. So, in other words, if I threw away my 6,000 videos right now, I could replace it very quickly because again, there are new air shows all the time. I would find new air show video. People will still send me video, and I still record it. So it's nonstop. It's fluid. It's a matter of fact. For now, Jay, without the help of AI, we are never going to find all the dragon videos that are out there. We really need AI to go after all the videos that have been posted and find them, isolate, put aside,
And go into the archives.
and put it in the. Yeah, we need it. We need it. It's just how we're going to learn. We need it no matter what it is, no matter where they're from. We need this knowledge. We got to get our hands on it.
We do.
Anything that goes 0 to 2,000 miles an hour in under 1 second, we need that. Yeah, humanity needs that. We need that technology. Can you imagine how advanced the X-ray machines will be at the hospital if we could get a little bit of that technology? You would be able to diagnose cancer in 2 days, not 6 months after it starts. I mean, the day it starts, you know, I don't feel good. Okay, let's take an X-ray. Oh, look, you got 2 cells. You got 2 cancer cells. We can get rid of it right now.
That day's coming soon.
It's coming.
Yep.
It's, it,
Well, Robert, it's been really good talking to you. I really enjoy your stuff, and I'm really glad you're doing the work that you're doing. And I do encourage everyone to go look at that Blue Angel video. That was amazing. One of the most amazing things I've ever seen with my own 2 eyes, actually.
yes, it is. And I'm happy somehow I found it. I knew I'd find something there, but not something like that. So I've told a lot of people, and yeah, it's Blue Angels ride. Looking forward. Timeline 2313, 23 minutes.
Definitely watch it. Watch it over and over. Actually, I must have seen it 30 times when you first gave it to me. Like, what am I looking at here? And by the way, I've sent your videos to a lot of UFO experts, famous people. I said, what do you think's going on here? I have never gotten a good answer from anybody. Most people don't think they're real. They think they're bugs, but I know they're not bugs, but I've never gotten a good answer. I just give you a speculation. I say, just speculate. What do you think this is? And
Right.
they're like,
But you know, in all fairness, That's why I thought for the first year they had to be a dragonfly,
Yeah.
because the concept of a 1-inch UFO did not exist.
Have you shown
So
this to Stephen Greer?
uh, I did send him emails. Yes, I've sent him plenty of emails. A lot of my viewers have. And for what it's worth, my pharmacy back in the day was across the street from the hospital he worked in. And I used to go to his lectures. I don't know if anyone know that, but he was giving lectures like in
Oh,
1988
oh, yeah. He's
at
been
the
around a long time.
at the Kaiser Hospital in West LA, Venice and La Cienega. But I didn't know who he was at the time, but I was just trying to be a good student and do my homework. Yeah, it's a funny small world.
That is, that's really weird. Yeah, I've known Stephen for 10 years now, something like that. I'd like to hear his opinion. I bet he doesn't have any opinion either, like all the other UFO experts. They're just like, I don't know, whatever.
Yeah, well, again, who would have ever thought UFOs have the technology to make a 1-inch object going 2,000 miles an hour that triggers the X band, it leaves an audio click, it flies behind objects. I have a lot of videos, he's flying behind
With
heavy
no
helicopters.
fuel on top of that. There's like not carrying a gas tank with it or anything. So that's like the most important question of all. How the hell, what is fueling these guys? And can we create one of these and go to Australia in 3 hours or whatever? And, you know,
Probably much faster, yeah.
yeah,
Probably,
or faster. Yeah.
yeah, of course. But we're not going to get the answers until other people record and we
Yep.
push the issue, and the people on the top, if we get the attention of NASA and the universities and we say, look, we need your help. We're not going to be mad at you. Just talk to us. We
Yep.
need your help.
I
That's all.
encourage everybody watching to do it. 60 frames a second and get the flight thing, the flight finder, I think it's called. Plane
Plane
finder, that's it. And look for your area and get the video on and send it to us. Send it to Robert, send it to me. I'd love to see it. And it'd be great.
Here, I forgot to hold this up. Custodian file. This is my channel.
Yep, I'll put a
Custodian.
link to it.
Okay.
Sure.
Yeah.
And well, Robert, thanks so much for coming on Reality Check. I really appreciate it.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Yeah. Hey, everybody. Thanks for watching. And I'll be back. Going to be making more content here. And appreciate you guys all watching.
Take care.